Oh yeah! I used to love watching this cartoon on Saturday mornings. I can remember getting really excited when the game came out. This is one that I guess most people have played, so it probably doesn't need much introduction. The first thing I can remember thinking about this game though was that the controls were really fiddly. A is jump, as with most platform games, but to bounce on Scrooge's cane you have to press both down and B when you're in the air. I used to find that really frustrating to do, but you do get used to it eventually. Like Capcom's other platform star Mega Man, Scrooge can choose the levels in whatever order he wants, and they're all really different and offer up a variety of challenges. This is a really short game though. The levels aren't that big and there's only 5 of them. It's all over way too soon, but it's sure sweet while it lasts. Great stuff. For some bizarre reason, I can remember looking at this game in Maya, that's an Australian department store, and thinking the box looked really cool, and yet I'd never played it. Until now. Thank you, Wii Virtual Console. Faxanadu is a side-scrolling RPG in a similar vein to The Adventure of Link or Simon's Quest. The dialogue's much more advanced than those two games though, and there's some nice touches like seeing the characters close up or watching your character's equipment evolve as you buy new stuff. Nello? Wait, Nello? That's an H? Perhaps that's just the Elvish pronunciation. Yeah, that's what it must be. Anyway, you play as an elf returning to his home village after a long journey, and you're sent on a quest by the king to defeat some evil or a dwarf king or something. I don't know. The overall plot isn't really worth speaking about, but it is an immersive world nonetheless. I could almost imagine Miyazaki making a movie set in this world or something. But how does it actually play? Well, it's alright. It hasn't got the best controls ever, but it gets the job done. The jumping is a bit weird and takes a while to get used to. It's also a decent length for a Nintendo game. It took me quite a while to play through the whole thing, but I'm really glad I did. This was a pleasant surprise, and I'm happy to say that Faxanadu stands the test of time. Contra. This was always one of those foreign oddities to me. It was never released in Australia, or so I thought. Turns out that it did come here under the title Probotector. Exactly the same game, except the big beefy Schwarzenegger wannabes were replaced with robots. So, which one should I play? Big manly men or robots? Big manly men or robots? Oh, robots are for girls. So, this is Contra. Far out, this must have been created by masochists. I hate games that make you die from one hit. One measly little stray bullet and your character's dead. Ow! Luckily, you can input the not-so-secret code at the title screen to give you 30 lives. You need them. This game is ridiculously difficult. Frustrated the crap out of me. You could tell it was designed as an arcade game. I can imagine the whole bunch of kids standing around the machine, taking it in turns to put money in before the game over timer runs out. But despite the difficulty, or perhaps because of it, I found Contra strangely addictive. The controls are tight, and your little dude can maneuver all over the place. It's a hard one to place. Does it stand the test of time? There's definitely a lot of retro appeal here, but I don't know if it's maybe too brutal to be considered really fun. You know what, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. This game is solidly made, deliberately hard, and I don't want those guys coming to my house to beat me up, so it stands. This is a not very well known Capcom platformer that's based on an anime movie that's based on a turn-of-the-century American comic book series. If that sounds weird, wait until you play the actual game. Nemo's a little kid in his pyjamas going on an adventure in Slumberland. The first thing I noticed about Nemo is that he's a pretty crap platform hero. He has no defense and no attack. Admittedly, he does eventually get to whack things with a magic wand, but that's not till right at the end of the game. all he can really do is chuck lollies at things, and this does nothing to the normal enemies except make them laugh at Nemo's crapness. But if you feed lollies to the right creatures, they'll let you ride them. This is where the game becomes fun, since each animal has its own strengths and abilities. A lot of the animals have no form of attack either though, so it's often about dodging the enemies more than trying to kill them. The levels are generally non-linear, requiring you to find a certain number of keys to unlock a door. Look, this game is just plain weird. It's weird to look at and it's weird to play, and I honestly didn't like it when I started, but as I got used to its quirks, it began to grow on me. It's also deceptively difficult. Betraying its cutesy kitty exterior is a game that requires a lot of trial and error to win. After Contra though, nothing seems truly difficult anymore. I wasn't completely happy with some of the collision detection at times, and while the gameplay doesn't feel quite as polished as other Capcom platformers, the graphics are very pretty for their time. I'd say Little Nemo isn't as fun as DuckTales, but it's a lot longer and more challenging, so I'll say it stands. Man, it's weird though. It feels like it took me forever to play through this week's games, but look, a whole week of standing games. Next week there's another 4 from the Nintendo library, including the one where the Mega Man series notoriously got good. Is it still good though? That's what I intend to find out. Peace out.